Acclaimed and best-selling I Survived series tells stories of young people and their resilience in the middle of unimaginable disasters. Today, we're talking about I Survived, the American Revolution, 1776. Critically acclaimed author Loren Tarsus is here with us today. Loren, tell us about the story.
Hi there, Megan. I would say that my I Survived series takes, these really important historical events and tells them through the eyes of a child like the reader that I'm trying to reach, these young readers. And this one is about, tells the story of an 11-year-old boy named Nathaniel Fox who finds himself in the middle of the biggest battle of the Revolutionary War, which turns out to be the Battle of Brooklyn, a battle that I had never heard of and that I think most people haven't. But it was so important because it was the biggest battle of the whole war. It was the first battle after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and it was the first battle that George Washington led the Continental Army through. And it was actually a real disaster for the Americans, but the Americans picked themselves up and kept fighting, and I loved that theme of resilience that you really see in this battle.
Okay, so what are some interesting things that you discovered while telling it?
I discovered that the American Revolution was so much more frightening and interesting and complicated than I ever imagined. The war itself went on for 8 years. It was just an endless war, and it affected people all throughout the colonies. It was a very frightening and divided time, obviously, in our country. And I learned that George Washington, really, he had so much failure in the early years of the war, and reading about him made me admire him even more because he was always willing to learn from his mistakes, not give up, and move forward. And my goal in the book was really to help kids not only learn about this battle, but help them understand why we got into this war, what it means to us today. And there's actually this really amazing experience available beginning today on the Scholastic website for free. Any teacher or parent or child can go onto the website and go on a virtual field trip to the Museum of the American Revolution that I'm hosting. And they can go behind the scenes at the museum and learn even more about General Washington and see real muskets and meet historians. So my goal for the books is always to not just tell a great story, but to help ignite the curiosity of these readers so they're going to want to go on and learn more on their own.
Now, I have to tell you, I've read this in classrooms here in town, and kids love it. Why do you think the series applies to parents, teachers, and students?
I always say that the I Survived series really isn't about history or disasters. It's really about human beings. All of us face hardship in our lives, even if we don't go through something like my characters face. And this is really about how people move through those events, how they find comfort with their family, strength through their faith, their friends, and how you can heal after going through something like this. So that's really what has inspired me most, and frankly what has kept me writing the series is these stories of resilience, that and the connection that I've been able to gain with so many of these amazing young readers who don't really consider themselves historians, but have become so engaged in these topics.
Okay, well, very cool stuff. Thanks for being here today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Megan.
All right, stick around, everybody.